Hey guys, today I'm coming to you with another top 10 video. This time I'll be looking at the top 10 Mii outfits I'd like to see in Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U and 3DS. The reason I'm making this video is quite simple. Nintendo recently announced a Rool and a Chrom outfit for Super Smash Bros. And well, basically this is it now. Nintendo are going to be rolling out these outfits. I mean, they've been doing it for a while, but you know, there's no slowdown. That they're continuing this trend of throwing this DLC at us, which I'm not complaining about. So I thought rather than wait for a shed load to come out, I'm going to get some predictions, some speculations, and some dreams out there, I guess, and let's see if some of them come true. I will say though that the Mii outfits don't really do it for me. They're cool, I just don't really use the Mii fighters. But you know, more content, I'm not complaining. So yeah, let's go. In 10th place, I've gone for Tingle. I don't really need to say a lot here. If you've watched my top 10 most wanted characters, spoiler alert, Tingle is on that list. And I'd love to see a Tingle Mii outfit. It would just be quite hilarious. He could be a brawler, or he could be a gunner. He could use a balloon or a party popper, kind of similar to the Isabelle one. I'm sure they could do something around that. So yeah, number 10 is Tingle. Number 9, I've gone for Ray from the Custom Robo series. Again, another character that, spoiler, appeared on my top 10 list. The Custom Robo series is criminally underrepresented in Smash Bros. And really, it's quite an easy way to get some representation out there. They've done that with Xenoblade to kind of expand how much the series is represented, I guess. And I think they're going to be doing that with other franchises. I guess they've done that with Animal Crossing too. So it'd be a really good way to get some more custom Robo content in there. Get a Ray costume, yeah, would be cool. Obviously, I think it goes without saying he'd be a gunner. In 8th place, I've gone for something a little bit more unusual. I think they should make some wireframe costumes for all 3 of the Mii fighters. Wireframes referencing the I guess the fighting team. I guess, you know, like you have the Mii fighting team for this game, and you have the alloys for Brawl. You have the wireframes for Melee, and I think that'd be a really cool throwback to get those as, I guess, costumes. Obviously, they won't look like they did in Melee, but the actual way they're made up would be a reference. And I guess whilst we're on that subject, we could also say the alloys as well. Maybe an alloy version of the Miis. Not sure how well that would work. The wireframes sound like it could be easier, but wireframes, alloys, and maybe even then the polygon team from the N64. Why not, you know? Screw it, why not? Bring them all back. And whilst I'm on that subject, has anyone else noticed how we can't actually play in the Mii fighting team suit? You know, how when you fight the Miis in the stadium events or in classic mode, they're wearing the black suits with the M on. You can't actually play with them, which I find a bit odd. So that as well. So maybe that could be a nice little package. All those variants of the fighting team, I guess, that we fought throughout the years. In 7th place, I've gone for the Star Fox team. So that would be Fox, Peppy, Falco, and Slippy. And Crystal. The reason being, you would have a gunner, a fighter, and a sword fighter within that. So you could have Falco and Fox outfits as your gunners, you could have a Slippy and a Peppy as your brawlers, and you could have Crystal as your sword fighter if she was using her staff. I think they could tie this into the release of Star Fox Zero. Do I think this is going to happen? No. But it would be really cool to have, I guess, fursuits then of all these characters. In 6th place, I've gone for another franchise which is criminally underrepresented in the Smash Bros. Universe, and that is Issa, Saki, and Kachi from the Sin and Punishment series. All 3, I think, would be gunners, but the Sin and Punishment series has literally no representation. It does have an assist trophy, which is pretty cool, but, you know, there could be music, stages, more trophies, but there's just none of it. I think, and to be honest, I've only played Star Successor for the Wii, and it is a really great game, and I think there should be more representation from the series, and I think Mii outfits is a fantastic way to promote the series. So yeah, one of those, if not all three. Why not? In 5th place, I've gone for Professor Layton and Luke from the Professor Layton series. Now, with the announcements of WiiU, we've seen that Nintendo are open to doing third-party costumes and obviously third-party characters. Now, I know Professor Layton isn't owned by Nintendo, but Nintendo must have a pretty close relationship with Level 5, based just on the amount of support that Level 5 give the 3DS, and the fact that Nintendo do publish the Layton games outside of Japan. So I think getting Layton and Luke in the game is, pretty likely actually. Layton could be a sword fighter, referencing his sword fighting skills in the second Professor Layton game, and I know that's something that I've seen many people say would justify him as a character, and I completely agree. I'd love Layton as a character, I just don't see it happening. But yeah, as a Mii fighter outfit, why not? Yeah, absolutely, I'd be straight on that. And I think Luke would just be cool to go along with him as maybe a little brawler. In 4th place, I've gone for a character who I originally contemplated putting on my top 10 list. I'll tell you a little story. Basically, when Smash Bros was announced for Wii U and 3DS, even though Sakurai claimed that both versions were going to have the same characters, I was kind of skeptical at points, purely because of who Sakurai was, or is, should I say. And I thought that we probably would end up with some version exclusive characters, or at least one. And I thought that Nikki from the Swap Note in America, and it was Letterbox over here. Swap Note and Letterbox app on the 3DS would be a perfect 3DS exclusive character. Obviously, when the Mii Fighter was announced, that kind of threw that idea out the window for me. Although I still think it would work really well, Nikki is just essentially a Mii, so it's not going to happen. However, as an outfit, yeah, I don't see why not. She could be a sword fighter and have a massive pencil, is how I imagine it, because, that was predominantly what she was all about, writing letters. So give her a giant pencil and she goes and batters the crap out of people. So number 4 goes to Nikki. I'd really like that, that'd be really cool. In 3rd place, I've gone for Mallow and Gino from Super Mario RPG Legend of the 7 Stars. Now, if you don't know, Gino is probably one of the most requested characters for Super Smash Bros. He's right up there with Ridley, trust me. And for a good reason. He's a really awesome character. He's one of the sidekicks you get in Super Mario RPG, alongside Mallow. Now, whilst I would love to have him as a character, I think any chance of that happening has kind of gone now. Even with the ballot, I just think it's gone. The game's way too old. I know it didn't come out till quite recently overseas, but it just be a little odd. And obviously there is also the issue with who owns the characters and all that jazz. However, I do think if there was an agreement met between Nintendo and Square, it would be for Mii outfits of Gino and Mallow, which is better than nothing. Mallow could be a fighter, Gino could be a gunner. I would absolutely love this. It would be amazing. In fact, the top 3 of this list were incredibly close. And I think the way I've positioned them is kind of more on likeliness, because I'd be happy with any of them. So yeah, number 3 goes to Mallow and Gino. In 2nd place, it might be a bit of a cop-out because it's not really an outfit, which is why it didn't go to number 1. And that is a new variant of the Mii Fighter. So we have the Gunner, the Sword Fighter, and the Brawler. And I know I've been saying fighter throughout the whole thing, I swear, in this video. What if we added another class, let's say? Or another couple of classes? I haven't thought too much about the idea, I just think the concept of creating a new class is pretty cool. So the one I've got in mind is a Magician. So someone that uses more telekinetic attacks, similar to like Mewtwo or some of Robin's moves, something like that. So a Magician Magician, something like that. which I think would be really cool. And then alongside that, because this is an outfits ideas video, you could have people like Kamek as a costume. I imagine there's some people you could take from Earthbound as well. There's obviously other variants of Kamek as well. You could reference, I've forgotten the mid-boss Kamek from the Mario Galaxy series, but her. There's loads of wise old characters from the Paper Mario series you could use. I'm sure there's loads. But yeah, maybe a new class for the Mii Fighter. That would be pretty cool. And effectively a new character, because you get a new trophy, or 2 trophies, or 3 trophies even if you include the ult. So yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. Okay, and now for number 1, you're going to have to bear with me, because this idea... I've had this idea for quite a long time. So back before the Mii was announced for Super Smash Bros, I, like many, thought the Mii should be a character, and I couldn't really think in my head how it would work. I think Nintendo have done a fantastic job, and their idea is much better than what I'm about to go through with you. But this was my idea back when I was younger. The Mii would represent Nintendo's history, in the sense it would represent their merchandise and their physical products. So like the Power Glove. So it would be a Mii equipped with Power Gloves. It would have a stylus as a sword. It would have the Zapper Gun as one of its specials. It could use the Ultra Hand as a grab. That sort of stuff. And it was going to be a nerd Mii, as I called it back then. It was going to have loads of Nintendo accessories, I guess. And obviously that didn't happen. I didn't think it would, because the purpose of a Mii is to personalise it, and that wasn't really personal. It was kind of like a specific thing. So that's something I think we could integrate into an outfit. So what if we had nerd... I don't want to say nerd, but I think that's a good way to kind of sum the idea up. Nerd variants of the Gunner, the Brawler, and the Sword Fighter. So for example, the Sword Fighter would have a stylus instead of a sword. The Brawler would be wearing the Power Gloves, and the Gunner would have the Zapper. And then obviously there'd be other items as well. So you'd have the Ultra Hand. Another idea I had was maybe using the Wiimote and the Nunchuck as an actual Nunchuck. Or even using the Wii Remote as a lightsaber, because let's face it, who hasn't done that, pretended their Wii Remote is a sword? So that's another variant of the Sword Fighter, perhaps. These ideas also, I think, could work as items in Smash. So we can't have the Super Scope already. There's no reason why we can't add the Ultra Hand, or the Stylus, or the Wiimote. But purely pulling it back to Mii Fighters, I think we have this Nintendo nerd variant of the Mii Fighters. Also, I'm just going to throw in there, what about Captain N from the cartoon series? I never watched a lot of it. I don't know how fond of it Nintendo are, but I'm pretty sure that they're more content with it than they are on the CDI games, so they might reference Captain N. That would be pretty cool. So yeah, that's number 1 for you. It's not as clean cut as the previous entries, but I hope you kind of get my vision of what I'm seeing here. This sort of Nintendo apparel Mii thing. Styluses and Wiimotes and nunchucks and balance boards. Why not balance boards? Instead of dropping a shot put, you drop a balance board. I don't know. There's so many ideas around it. So I'm going to basically put it over to you. Well, what do you think about that idea? You know, the top 9 are pretty cool, but I think the number 1, I think there's room for discussion there. Oh, and I guess number 2 as well. So that's it, guys. Obviously, we're going to see plenty more Mii outfits in the coming months. Hopefully, some of the ones I've mentioned above get in there. And what do you guys think? What do you guys reckon? What would you like to see? I'd love to hear your ideas too. So, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed, please check out my channel. I now have a nice collection of top 10s gathering up. I've got top 10 stages I'd like to see return from previous games. Of course, a top 10 character wish list, which I've kind of spoil a couple of entries in this video. And also, if you're not up for any more Smash content, I do have a top 20 Universal theme park rides I'd like to see. So yeah, head on over to Keen TV. Thank you very much, guys.